I don't know what it's like to be homeless, and I don't know what it's like to go through the foster care system. But I have the knowledge of what it's like to be the wife of a man who was, and the daughter of a father who did. And I can tell you that it affects everyone. Trauma does not end with one generation, but healing can begin with one safe home. And that's who we are at Steadfast. Hi, my name is Cindy Morgan, and I am the founder and executive director of Steadfast, standing firm against youth homelessness. The mission of Steadfast is a very personal one for me. It involves 3 stories of 3 men, different generations, but all having the same childhood dream: a safe, stable home. So the first story is one of my father, Robert Hemby. He was placed in foster care right here in Frederick County at the age of 4. He went through 4 foster care homes over a 14-year period. Some were good and some not so good. So the story that my dad shared with me that stood out most for me was the one of when he was in high school. His foster mother died, and his foster father eventually moved out of the house and left him to live alone in an old farmhouse. It had no electricity, no running water. My dad hunted and fished for food. He worked on a farm. He went to high school, and nobody knew until he met my mom, and they became high school sweethearts. And at a very young age, they married and began having a family, 5 kids. I'm number 4. So my dad always told me that all he ever wanted was a home and a family, and with really hard work, he created one. Inspired by my dad's life story, in 2015, I became a CASA volunteer. A CASA is a court-appointed special advocate for youth in foster care. The youth that was appointed to me was 15 years old when he entered the foster care system. His father had committed a crime and was sent to prison, and it left him orphaned in the state of Maryland. During his time, he went through 3 residential care facilities over a 3-year period of time. He never got the foster family he hoped for. So when he turned 18, he signed himself out of the system, and 3 months later, I found him living in a wooded area with a piece of cardboard, a backpack, and a blanket. And all he ever wanted was a home. So the third story is the story of my former husband, Terry Morgan. So Terry was born in 1945, and he was left on the steps of the Frederick Memorial Hospital. He was adopted as an infant. As he grew into a young boy, his home life became very toxic. His parents divorced, his dad left, and his mom became an alcoholic. He had many friends, and the mothers adopted him and took him in and would feed him, and he'd often spend the night with his friends. Many nights, when he didn't have a place to go, he would sleep in the stairwells of the tenement homes in downtown Frederick. When he became a teenager, he went to Frederick High School. He played football, and he worked at the Terrace Lane bowling alley. When he wasn't playing football, or when he wasn't working, he was hanging out at the Terrace Lane bowling alley with his friends. He was a really good bowler. But at nighttime, when everybody left, Terry would unlock the back door, let himself back in, and he would sleep there. He'd wash up in the morning, and he'd go to school, and nobody knew. Until the owner found out, which was about a year into it, and took him home to live with him and his family. He found safety, and he found people who really cared about him. So I want to take you back to my youth in foster care, whose name also happened to be Robert. And when he was going to his last residential care facility placement, I was invited by him and his social worker to help him move and settle in. It was located in Bethesda, Maryland. And I will say that Robert was really excited about this placement because he heard good things. And the school he was going to be attending had a really good um, sports department, and he was a really, really good basketball player. So when we arrived, the tour went well until we walked into the building where he was going to be living. Robert is 6'5", and he was in front of me. And as we walked through the corridors, I could just see his hope start to fade from his body. He didn't even have to say anything. I could see the despair. This was not what he thought it was going to be. And I had to leave him there. I cried all the way home. I cried that night, and I prayed. And it was in that moment that I remembered him telling me also that all he ever wanted was a home. And in that instant, God laid on my heart to go and open one. And I said, okay. After all, how hard could it be? So the vision was placed on my heart 5 years later with a group of amazingly dedicated volunteers, the support of the Frederick Christian Fellowship Church, who gave us a home rent-free for a very long duration, a community that surrounded us. We opened our doors, and in 2023, we began to house youth in need of a home. I don't know what it's like to be homeless, and I don't know what it's like to go through the foster care system. But I have the knowledge of what it's like to be the wife of a man who was, and the daughter of a father who did. And I can tell you that it affects everyone. Trauma does not end with one generation, but healing can begin with one safe home. And that's who we are at Steadfast. We are a safe and stable home where youth can find a place to heal and to become the person that they were intended to be. Our program is designed with, as the youth move into the house, I am the live-in house mom, so I am available to our youth 24/7 to help with their emotional support. They receive all the basic necessities of life: a home, food, electricity, running water, Wi-Fi, clothing, transportation, which helps to take them to school, to work, to doctor's appointments. In addition to that, we have mentors that connect with our youth. We have a really wonderful mentor that comes in and works with our youth on home maintenance. He teaches them basic plumbing, electrical work, all the things that they need to have, all those skills that will help them when they do transition out into their own independent living. So your support helps us to connect our youth to their community. It helps to provide them with medical care, dental care, and resources that are available. We hope that you will join us in helping us to eradicate youth homelessness in Frederick County. Thank you.